So yeah. Hey guys, me again, just lil ol Nasty Jack, bringing you doggies the latest and greatest stuff on the face of the whole Midwest. But yeah, today you are gonna laugh like this lol hey here, cause we got some real big boy stuff going on in this story, but it's still gonna be super spooky. Okay, short and sweet, let's go. Chapter 8, The Witch. Our cool guy George Washington stood there, posed candidly as heck, like always, like he was about to be chiseled into Mount Rushmore right then and there. "What do you know about Pickle Rickle?" asked Georgie boy. "That's the thing, we don't know much about him. Just that his nefarious plots seem to revolve around some spooky stuff and we keep getting caught up in it. So yeah," I replied. He laughed like this lol and said, "Well my dudes, like I said, I gotta go sign the Declaration of Independence, so you're gonna come or nah?" "Ah heck yes, that's more like it," I thought to myself. Looking coolly off into the distance, G-Dog lifted a hand up to his lips, and blew like this. He whistled loud and clear, and three majestic as frick horses galloped over the nearby hillside. "Wow George, that was pretty neat," Sally said. She was such a sucker for horses. He was like, "Yeah, these bad boys go up to 30 miles per hour and have a mean 1-horsepower engine inside of them." We saddled up and followed George for maybe like 37 minutes or so. We came up to the aptly named Independence Hall, and in front there were a whole bunch of nerdy-looking dudes in wigs and hat robes, even though it was summer. Good thing we were with the cool kid rolling up. We rolled up and they made a big circle and started chanting, and it went kind of like this. "He's the leader of the bunch, you know him well. He's finally back to kick some tail." George gave his boy Ben Franklin a cool secret handshake that had at least 2 backflips. George said to him, "Hey my guy, you ready to sign this bad boy and make our own country like a real bad dude?" And Ben Franklin said to him, "Well George, we are pretty much ready, but you aren't even supposed to be here. I thought you were supposed to be in New York getting ready to fight those bad British nerds." The big GW replied, "Oh yeah, I forgot lol. My B." He looked at us and said, "Okay best friends, let's go to New York." Wow, this was getting crazy quick. We rode our horses for like 5 hours or whatever after taking a nice break for a cute little picnic where we told each other our stuff, like our deepest secrets and favorite memes. Wow, George had some nutty things to confess and wore some nasty farts like a real G. So yeah. We arrived in New York as dusk began to shroud the sunset in its twilight mantle. "Wow," I said, "I have never been to New York. It doesn't really look like I expected it to lol." George said, "Yeah, it's definitely like the cool place to be right now, but there really aren't that many babes." Sally scoffed. I knew that upset her because she only likes places with tons of hot girls. Boy does she have good taste. George said to us, "Okay, get ready because we are gonna go to some spooky nighttime ritual to prepare to fight off those redcoats. Mr. Washington, you are my new best friend, but that sounds a little too spooky," I said. He was like, "No, it will be okay, I believe in you, Nasty Jack." Wow. I couldn't believe it. George Washington believed in me. I pooped my pants out of sheer excitement, and I could tell that Sally was impressed. We dismounted our horses and wandered over to a grassy knoll where a few hooded figures wearing black cloaks stood around a fire. It was some spooky arcane Wiccan stuff. It reminded me of watching Mr. Mike's ritual where he did those bad things to Sally's mama. The people in the circle started chanting some funky stuff. I couldn't understand most of the chant, but by the end I finally understood. It went like this: walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells, grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah. We watched for a while and George Washington muttered under his breath, "The girl in the middle is Abigail Proctor. She is our very own witch." Sally gasped, and as the chant ended, the witch lifted her hood. She looked just like Sally. Hello, Nasty Jack here with a quick break. My stupid boss Stan took a vacation after I schooled him so hard and roasted his lame personality last time. But yeah. This week, I wanted to give you guys an inside glance at the Nasty Jack the Big Nut Bus Tour. It's gonna be a wild day in Wyoming. You guys will get to meet the cast and have a freaking good time learning more about the lore of my book. My friend Sally will be there, but we are not sure if George Washington is gonna be there yet. I keep trying to get a hold of him, but whenever I call the White House they tell me that it is illegal to prank call them, but all I want to do is talk to my best friend. But yeah. There will be Nasty Jack themed chicken nuggets, games and maybe even porta potties if we can fit it in our budget. It just depends if we can meet the GoFundMe goal we have of $5, because if not we might not even be able to go on our tour. You know how them bills be, my guys. So yeah, if you want to laugh like this haha all day, then don't forget to buy your tickets now. You can buy them on my website where you normally watch me take baths. Anyhow, frick you Stan, you are trash and I hate you. I can't believe you are forcing me to take you on my book tour. Please never come back from your stupid vacation and have a fun time while you are there. You suck. Okay, now back to the book. Sally stood there, aghast. What was going on here? Sally was like Abigail Proctor is the name of my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great cool great-good-great-grandma. I was like, Sally, your last name is Smith, I thought. She said, I mean yeah, but my mom's maiden name was Proctor. I gasped. I never imagined Sally's mommy would have had such a weird last name. Abigail came over and said, howdy my guys. You must be wondering what's going on. Of course we do, we have no freak-a-leaking clue what is going on here. Abigail used a lot of big words and I kind of dozed off, but jerked awake when I heard her tell Sally that in her younger years she had left her descendants a grimoire with runes and spells so that they could learn witchcraft and delve into their genetic birthright as bona fide for real witches. Sally looked stunned and farted. I could not believe it. I loved Harry Potter and I could not believe that Sally was going to Hogwarts. You are. I'm so jealous. Okay, but that's all cool, but what about Pickle Rickle? I butted in. Abigail and looked off to her left with a forlorn glance. She said Pickle Rickle was my greatest failure. He was going to be my first child. He was stillborn. We all stood there not knowing how to cope with this devastating news. Abigail smiled weakly and farted. It's okay, she said, but in my grief I attempted to cast a spell that would bring him back to life. It worked, but left him as something terrifying, and less than human. But on that note, you two have dallied for too long. She handed me a dagger, crafted from beautifully ornate silver, with a jeweled hilt, and an inscription in the blade. This dagger has been enchanted to pierce Pickle Rickle's soul and body, and will undo the magic that ties him to the mortal plane. Then, looking to Sally, she reached in a well-concealed pocket of her and pulled out a small piece of paper. And this is the spell you will need to bind him so that you can finally end his eternal torture. It will take both of you to do this. I began to sputter, but she had already began chanting. As everything turned black I heard George Washington say, I will never forget you ever, Nasty Jack, you were my best friend. I slowly came to, noticing Sally breathing lightly next to me. I shook her awake, and we stood up. The dagger was in my hand and after inspecting it I was like, wow, your ancestor was beautiful, Sally. She said, yeah, that's why I hate when people call her a witch. That didn't really make any sense to me, but that's when I realized where we were. I grabbed her by the shoulder and turned her to look the same direction as mine. It was the scary house.